So I just get a message on my phone saying, fight me now or I'm going to stab your dad.
Did you know Raul?
Raul had been selling drugs or something in Terry's venue. So Terry's hit him over the head with a hammer and chased him off the door. I'm probably going to come out of that fight with about 20, 30 stitches in my face. I'm just thinking I'm going to grab your head and bite you.
I want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, Gold Seal. I use their products every single day, and now I finally get to work with them. I use their products for anti-inflammatory, reduced anxiety, better sleep, and mental clarity. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description, along with a 10% discount code for you to take advantage of. Go and have a look at their website, see if there's anything in there for you. I hope you enjoy this week's episode, and good health. Mick.
Are we doing you good?
Good, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. Especially, I know that your schedule is chock-a-block at the moment because you've got a title fight very early next year in the States, which we're going to come to that because I want to go through your life story from start to finish. So you're the heavyweight champion of the world, BKFC. For anyone that doesn't know, that is Bare-Knuckle Fighting Championship.
It is, aye.
Cool. To be the heavyweight champion of the world, Bare-Knuckle, is some statement. Anyone that's just heard me say that through that introduction, because Conor McGregor has made the headlines recently for all the wrong reasons, people are going to want me to ask you the question what your thoughts on that are before we begin. Are you okay to go down that route?
100%.
What's your take on the Conor McGregor situation?
When you look at the evidence on that, there's 4 people who went in that room. There's Conor's friend, her and her friend. Conor's went in. I don't doubt that there's been sex or rough sex or whatever's happened. They've been in there for a few hours. They've come outside. Conor's then left with her friend, I think, maybe he's on his own. And then she's trying to get back in the room with Conor's friend. When you look at the CCTV footage, she's actually caught still cuddling Conor, kissing his arm. And then she's also cuddling and kissing Conor's friend, trying to get back into the room. Now, I can see people might freeze and shell up, if they've been raped. I think if you've been raped and brutally raped, is what you're saying, you wouldn't be kissing and cuddling his friend and trying to get back in the room for more, would you? So it's like, when you look at the evidence, and I think some of the evidence was held back because it was only a civil matter, wasn't it? I think the police actually dropped the case. So you've got 3 people in the room, there's 4 in the room, 3 people in the room are saying there was no rape, and 1 person in the room saying it is, who was the victim. Now, nobody knows what's happened in that room apart from them. But when 3 people in the room are saying, no, I don't, that never happened, you've got to start going with, you've got 3 witnesses saying no, and you've got 1 that thinks, maybe, yeah, I have. I mean, I'm not saying in every circumstance there's not going to be that, but when your own friend is going against you, I think there's doubt in your mind. If there's doubt, you kind of convict someone.
Kind of reminds me of the Mike Tyson 100%. Case a while back, going back to somebody else's hotel room in the early hours, drunk or high as a kite on substances.
But when you look at the evidence, I mean, look what happens when you go to a hotel room. If you've got 2 people going on the drink and a bloke says to a woman, I'm going to a hotel room, or you come with us, you're not going for a game of Monopoly. You're not going to watch the TV. It's got a crap telly. There's 3 things in a hotel room. There's a TV with crap television. There's a bed and a shower. What are you going back for? You're not going for conversation. Now, I've spoken to women about this as well in the gym. I says to a woman in the gym, I went, what do you think's happened? She went, I'm not sure. I says, well, can I ask you a question? She went, yeah. I went, if you found out your husband went back to a hotel room for 6 hours to have a conversation with a woman, would you believe him? And she went, definitely not. I went, so why are people believing this woman? She knows what she's going for. I don't doubt there's been sex. But has there been rape? I honestly think it's consensual, especially it's the way she acted after, trying to get back in the room. I just think the evidence is inconsistent with rape.
And there was text messages found that she was still texting her boyfriend, that she was sort of out having a good time during that stint.
I think she got caught sending a text after that happened when she was in the car park, in the car park on CCTV saying it's happened to her. But she had told the police that she was actually in the room when she sent this text.
It's interesting to get every side of the story, and I'm certainly not into victim shaming at all. However, the CPS didn't think there was enough evidence to charge, and if he's been wrongly accused, then that is that is a tragedy.
How are you going to repair what's happening, though? I mean, let's say it was just Conor and her, and it was his word against hers. You would have to favour her. I would personally favour her in that point.
I would.
Like, because you would hate to not favour her and then it come out that he had done it. But when he's there saying he didn't do it, his friend's there saying he didn't do it, you think, well, it's Conor and his friend against her, so maybe it still happened. But when her friend said it hasn't happened, you've now got 3 people against one. How does that stand up?
Yeah, it was bizarre, and if I'm honest, I didn't think it would go the way that it did. I was surprised to see that, which makes me even more interested in to see what other people's opinions are. People watching this or listening to this, if you're on YouTube, yeah, put in the comments if you've really sort of delved into the case. Put your comments in there and just let us know what you think, because the key to these podcasts is to listen, learn, and form an opinion. And we're all on the same team here. Yep. We all want predators off the streets.
100%.
But equally, we don't want people falsely accused if that's the case. So we'll draw a line under Conor. But because of the affiliation Conor's got with BKFC, and it's the fact it's hot off the press that he's just had to pay out some compensation, I thought, why not touch base on that to start the interview?
I don't think the money, it's the damages it's going to do to him, But what do you do?
I think he's appealing it.
He is appealing. I mean, people are saying, I'm going to have this opinion because I fight for BKFC. I have the same opinion of Mike Tyson. I don't think Mike Tyson ran last years ago. When you look at the evidence, Mike Tyson went in there, done what he's done. She's come out, carried on dancing, and I'm sure Tyson went back in the room with another woman. Is it jealousy? You don't know, I mean, like you say, it's like, when it's one-on-one, I think Tyson went away because it was one-on-one. But you've now got 3 versus 1. So, like, are you damning a man? And there's doubt there.
Well, that's another interesting question for the viewers and listeners, because I've had Joe Egan sat opposite there, and I asked him the same question. What do you think took place in Mike Tyson's hotel room? And as far as he was concerned, as a God-fearing man, it didn't happen. They went back, it was consensual, and then she was scorned. And again, I don't know. I'm just relaying conversations that I've had. And but Tyson seems to have bounced back okay. He seems to be like very popular again.
Yeah, but this is the problem that we have as a people now, like people say there's free speech. There's not. We're frightened to say stuff at the minute. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the same as you. You're saying, yeah, but if it did happen, I would say, like, no, I would condemn him. But I personally don't think it was real. I think it was consensual. I think she's changed her mind. And I think it was exactly the same with Mike Tyson.
Do you know what? Free speech is such a good road to go down, but we won't, because I want to find out all about you. But you're exactly right. We shouldn't have to say, but I certainly don't agree with it. Yep. It should just be a given. Of course we don't fucking agree with harming a hair on a female's head. But anyway, we could go off on a free speech. Let's go back to you. Where were you born, Mick?
I was born North Shields. Still live in North Shields. I didn't venture far, really.
Which is Newcastle?
It is Newcastle, yeah.
Love Newcastle.
I love Newcastle. It's a great place. I think people are very friendly, good community. You get good support everywhere you go. It's just a mint place.
What was the atmosphere like in the home between mum and dad?
It's funny because I always thought I had a normal upbringing. I grew up, I was born in North Shields and we moved to a place called Meadowell. Us local people know it as Ridges. And I don't know if you heard about the riots years ago, it was Meadowell riots. So I was brought up in that estate. And then when I got to a certain age, we moved out because we had no central heating in our house. Right. So we went to a place called Cheyenne. It was like a pit village. And basically we went there because I had a coal fire and I had heating, I had radiators. So as kids were like champion, we're going, yeah. But I thought we had a normal upbringing. I mean, my mum and dad used to argue a lot. They would drink a bit and argue. And you would hear, for some reason, I don't know why, they used to wait till 3 a.m. and have an argument at 3 a.m.
Wait till you was all asleep.
I think, the kids will not hear this. And then 3 a.m, we're just lying in bed listening to Gambazoo,
Were they drinkers?
Yeah, at the time they were. They don't drink now, funny enough, but at the time they were drinkers. But 3 a.m, without doubt, there would be a massive kick-off.
Just verbal? Not
all the time. My mum was probably the one who would instigate a fight more than anybody in the household.
Right.
But my mum wasn't. My mum's like 5'10", 5'11". My dad's only 5'9", 5'10". So if they were having a fight, my mum would be bashing him. And eventually my dad would have to hit her back and say, get off us. So like my dad says he didn't believe in hitting women, but if you're getting nutted 3 times in the face, you've got to say, like, get off. I mean, I'd rather just walk away. but I'm not under the influence of drink. I don't really drink, or I've never took a drug in my life, so I've never drunk in the house. So, but I don't know if I've grew up thinking I'm not going to drink in the house because I don't want my kids saying that.
Yeah.
So I just don't bother. Do you know what it is? I grew up in a household, but we were poor. My parents both smoked, both drank. And I just thought, like, I don't want to do that. And, like, I was lucky I had me nana's house. My nana had a house in Willie Bay. Them owned their house. And we lived in a council estate. And I always thought, I want that. I want better. I want to get out of here. All my pals were taking drugs. They were all drinking. And I don't know if I just sat there and I just thought, I don't want that. So when I tried to stop one at school, actually, at 16. And I was wanting to be a teacher for some reason. And I realised in sixth form, teaching's not for me. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the people I was sat with, and I just thought that kids are cheeky, you know what I mean? At that point, I started growing as well. I was only little at school, I was like 5'4", so I was about 15, 16, then I shot up. And I think, like, when you're that small in high school, people try to take a lend of you.
Were you violent as a kid?
No. Honestly, I was the quietest, most normal kid. But, like, it's not that I ever got picked on, but, like, you felt intimidated, they would try to intimidate you, never physically hurt you. I grew up in a good school, actually. I went to George Stevenson High School. It's in Killamouth. And there wasn't a lot of, like, physical violence, but I remember there was one kid, and he was, like, me, skinny, little, and he was getting picked on. He was our pal, and they were picking on him. And I still don't know to this day why they picked on him, because the kids that were picking on him were, like, all right kids as well, and I'm thinking, why are you doing that? And anyways, I think we hit year 10, and he says he was leaving, he had enough. So he was going to another local school, Willie Bay, I think he went, amongst Seaton. And anyways, for some reason on his last day, we had a music teacher. He had no control of the classroom. And because they knew he was leaving that day, they must have thought, this is the last day we're going to beat Peter up. And every one of them come over and they're slapping him and hitting him. And I was only little as well. I was 5'4". We had kids in our year, like 6-footers. Size 10 shoes, hairy chests, and I probably had 2 pubes to my name. So anyways, a cracking Peter, and he got upset and he started crying because obviously they hurt him. I went, why are you doing that? I said, do you think that's clever? And he went to me, he went, well, how about me and you have a fight? I went, I go and I'll have a fight with you. I mean, he was bigger than me, and he was a popular kid, everyone liked him. And I said, right, I'll meet you at the bus stop outside of school, I'll meet you there, we'll have a fight. So I remember I walked straight up to the bus stop. I knew I was going to get beat up. And I got the bus stop and I stood there and went, how will we have a fight? And he went, I don't want to have a fight with you. And he walked off.
You beat him?
Mentally. We didn't have to have the fight, he just walked away. But I realised then, if you just game enough to just say, yeah, I'll do that. So I think really I've always been at the point where if I say I'm going to do it, I'll just do it.
Did you always enjoy fighting though?
Never really had fights at school. I wasn't until I hit like 16, 17, I started playing football. And I played in the men's league at 16.
By this stage, had you shot up?
I was like 6'2". I think I was about 16 stone back then. And I enjoyed the tackle. I was centre midfield at the time.
Right.
And I enjoyed the tackling side of the game, So, I don't know, I just got to a point where I just thought, like, I fancy taking this a little bit further. I enjoyed crunching people. And I was actually rewiring me pal's house. He was a boxer. And I says to Graham, I says, fancy teachers out of the box. He went, there's a gym up in Newcastle called Bare-Knuckle, Barry Norman's. He went, it's a Thai boxing gym though. I think you'd be better off doing the Thai, like there's being taller. He went, but it's a really tough gym. You've got to be tough to be in there. I went, go on, I'll give it a go. And that was it. I just went.
So what age were you when you started the Thai boxing?
I first went into Barry's gym when I was 23.
And up until then you hadn't done any kind of formal fighting or any kind of combat? Nothing.
Just Whitley Bay. Whitley Bay on a night out. I think at 9 o'clock I used to stop drinking in case a fight did happen, which is a liberty, really. So
positioning yourself nicely.
Just in case it happened. Got to think ahead, innit?
Yeah.
So we would tend to go out 6 o'clock, and then we would stop in Whitley Bay. I lived in North Shields, it's like 3 mile away. So we would stop up the top end, and then we'll work all the way down. And there used to be a nightclub called Sylvester's. At the time I lived in Sherrinwell, then you had the Shields lot, the Whitley lot, and there used to be like little gangs, like different corners of the nightclub. So you'd all just be sitting there looking at each other thinking, fight's going to be on, maybe. So I'd just get a bottle of Coke and just drink Coca-Cola. Just think if it does kick off, I'm sober enough to not get beat up, because I've had a couple of hidings and nobody likes getting a hiding, so I thought, I'm going to sober myself up. If it kicks off, I've got a half idea what I'm doing. But that was my little trick, stop drinking at 9 o'clock.
Cool. I mean, you've got good willpower as well.
Well, I had to be up as well for football in the morning, so I thought I don't want to be playing with a hangover.
No, that's true enough. You said you've had a couple of hide-ins.
Well, once I got filled in 3 times in half an hour.
How's your luck?
Well, you know what it is? My pal Michael Turner, he's the best man at my wedding. He used to be in the Navy. We were always curious why he went in the Navy. His dad was. Of course, Navy's got a bit of a stigma, you know what I mean? For you get in the Navy, you're going to be swearing. Turner, you're going to turn into a bender. You know what I mean? Back in the day. But, and anyways, he's left the Navy. So he used to come back every so many months. And so when he did, we made a big deal, you know, when he come back. So we went straight on a drink. It was a nightclub in Whitley Bay called Jimmy's. My pal Anthony Norman worked behind the bar. So he used to get you cheaper drinks, you know, when you went in there. So I says to Turner, we'll get a jug of vodka and Red Bull. And he didn't want to pay the price. Turner, he was going, no, I'm not paying that much. I went, no, we'll get it cheaper. Anton's working there. So anyways, I goes to the boy, charges £2 for a jug of vodka and Red Bull, and it was a big jug. So I've come back to the table, and Turner's went, how much was that? I went, £2. He went, oh, champion, because of glass. I went, no. I says, you didn't want to pay for it at the beginning. I says, so you're not getting it now? And he's went, no, stop being tight. I went, no, you're being tight. You wouldn't go half us on the jug. I think back in the day, they were like £15 a jug or something. And he didn't want to pay the £7. So I went, no, so I necked the full jug, you know, on my own. I think that was the first time, you know, like, you know, when I got out the bar and the fresh air hit us.
Wallop.
Oh. So I remember I come out and he's my pal now, the Dome, he's called Chris Lilly. And he's only little, but his game is toast, you know, but he's small. And I would say Chris is about 5'7". So I remember I come out and, I mean, it's cheeky of his, and I tapped him on the head. I went, you're little. And he just clipped us straight away. I didn't know Chris at the time. He's clipped us. I remember I fell into the wall. I was like, shit, he's clipped us there. I best go before I get a good hiding, yeah, because I couldn't even walk. So I remember I was walking up the street, and there was 2 kids arguing. I'm saying kids, 2 adults arguing. And I thought there's going to be a fight here. So I just sort of stood there, watched, thinking, these are going to chin each other here. And the argument just seemed to fizzle into nothing. And I was quite disappointed. I thought that they're going to have a fight and nothing was happening. So I just shouted, I went, he's called your mum a slag. So that was it. They started arguing again. I thought, champion, I'm in you.
Champion.
But they didn't. They turned on us. So anyways, he cracked us. And I remember I fell over the wall and my legs were stuck on the wall. But I was sort of laughing that I've been punched over.
Again.
And I was thinking, I've been chinned twice in 10 minutes here. So I've walked up the top. There used to be a taxi queue by Woolworths. And I get to the top and I was that drunk, I didn't even know there was a queue. So I've just walked straight to the front of the queue, jumped in the taxi. And I just remember this hand grabbing us out and cracked us, pulled us out of the taxi. And I remember just lying on the floor thinking, I've been chinned 3 times in 20 minutes here. And so I will have to do something about this. So I think not long after that, I decided I'm definitely going to have to start boxing or something or stop drinking.
Had you done any door work by at the time you started Thai boxing?
No.
So Thai boxing come first?
It was funny because I'm an electrician by trade. So I was just doing my electrical work. And obviously we had 3 kids and I never wanted my wife to work when we had the kids. So like money was tight when we were younger. And I was getting asking. I was trying to get offshore at the time. And my wife's uncle worked offshore. He went, if you get all your tickets, I can get you offshore. I went, no problem. So it cost us about $2,000 at the time, put us out of pocket, not long before Christmas. And I phoned him up, went, Barry, I've got all my tickets. He went, champion. He went, I'll give you a couple of numbers to ring. So I think champion. But he wasn't. He was just giving us the number to AMEC or whatever. You know, and they were saying, have you been offshore before? No, I haven't. You need 2 years experience. So like I couldn't get offshore. It ended up skinting us just before Christmas. And the kid who ran the doors, it was Terry Scott and Godfrey Robson. And they were training in our gym. And my pal Blanken says, try going on the door. He went, we all work on the doors. A kid called Noxie takes us up to meet Terry. Noxie's proper bigging us up. So I'm standing, it was in Blue Velvet Strip Club. Terry sat in the bucket seat. This is me pal Mick, tough kid. I want him to work on the door with me. Terry's went, I've heard a bit about you. He says, tough kid on you. And I'm standing, I'm going, not really, no. And he went, what do you mean, no? I says, no. I says, like, I'm quite thin, you know. I'm going to struggle chucking people out. I was only 13 stone at the time of the Thai boxing. I used to fight a cruiserweight, which is 85 kilo. I'll probably struggle with the bigger lads. You're probably wasting your money if you employ us. And Noxie went, will you shut the fuck up, man? I'm trying to big you up to get you a job. You're talking yourself out of it. So anyways, they took us on. So I'm standing there, I was on a bar called Hogo 10s. I didn't even have my badge at the time. And there was a bunch of kids coming. And one bunch of them were dressed as cowboys with cowboy hats. So them were no bother. The stag do was no bother. It was the Geordie lads were from Gateshead. Them coming, they were pinching the cowboy hats off them. And then 10 minutes later, honestly, it was like a cartoon. It was just like a ball of people coming out. There was just hands coming out everywhere. And usually once the fight's outside, it's like, champion, let them go, they're outside, they're out the bar. So anyways, the fight's outside, and one of them was a big lad, bigger than me, and they just started grabbing bottles. So we had a table, because you weren't allowed to take drinks outside. So we had a table where they used to leave their drinks. And he just ran over to the table, he just started grabbing bottles, and he just started launching bottles everywhere. And my car was parked opposite, I had a L200 Warrior at the time, and the bottle just bounced off my car. So I was foaming in that. So, I mean, he was a big kid, so I went over, I went, "You've hit me fucking car, mate." And then he just turned around, he says, "I'll pull your fucking teeth out." And he was massive, you know. I was 85 kilos. He would have been about 6'4", maybe 18 stone. And I remember he's went to grab us by the neck, but we was doing the tie, I've just flipped him. And it was a liberty really, because I'm complaining he's hit my car and I've got him on the bonnet of someone else's car. And I'm just punched him like that. And I remember just seeing this yellow vision coming along, and it was his pal had run right across the road in sliders. I managed to grab him by the back of the neck, and I remember I just uppercut him about 3 or 4 times, but I split him from about there to there. And anyways, they ran off, and of course I didn't have a badge, so I had to hide. So now the police comes, nothing's really happened, goes back in the door, and it would have been about an hour later, and this is how green I was. Taxi pulls up, it's the kid in the yellow shirt, his shirt's now red, just covered in blood. I've cut him from about there to there. And he comes out and he went, "Me and you need a straightener." And I didn't know what a straightener was. So I stood there and went, "All right, what's that?" And he went, he went, "Me and you need a fight." And I went, "All right, champion, we'll have a fight round the back here now." And he went, "Well, no, I don't want to fight with you now." And I went, "Oh, well, what you come for?" He went, No, I need a fight with you, just not now." I said, "Well, when do you want to have a fight?" He went,
"Can we put it in the diary?"
I went, "We'll have a fight tomorrow." I went, "All right, where do you want to have a fight?" He went, "Where do you live?" I went, "No Shields." He went, "I went, where do you live?" He went, "Gateshead." He went, "Holy Cross Field, it's in Wallsend." I went, "All right, what time do you want to meet there?" He went, 2 o'clock. I went, "Neighbour," so I turns up on my own, 2 o'clock. I mean, I didn't know what, but he just never turned up at all, this kid. But that was my first night on the door.
Is that the first time you realised that what they say on the door stands for nothing? Because when they wake up and sober up, they'll think, yeah.
You know what it is? He was actually trying to tell us that he was one of the Robinsons from Gateshead, which is a big family name up our end. And he's going, "I'm one of the Robinsons, this is going to happen, that's going to happen." But you know what it is, you know yourself when you're on the door. The amount of people that threaten are going to kill you on the door.
Oh. When you turned up the next day to have this straightener, was you disappointed that he didn't show?
I was in disbelief more than anything. Because I never tried to,
You're a man of your word.
I was thinking, otherwise needs to, I remember I phoned Terry. I went, "Terry, this kid, I'm meant to be meeting him." Terry knew the Robinsons. Turns out he wasn't one of the Robinsons. So I went, "Terry, this lad, I'm meant to be having a fight with him." He went, "Right, when?" I says, "Now." I says, "I'm at the field now." He went, "Who are you with?" I went, "On my own." He went, "Why on your own?" I says, "Oh," he says, "just meet him. Meet me out in the field." He went, "Are you stupid?" He says, "It could be 20 of them." I says, "Oh, I'll be all right, man." But that was always my philosophy, I'll be all right.
Did you ever have any situations whilst working the door that you thought, or even was, sort of out of control?
Raoul Moat. The Raoul Moat thing.
Did you know Raoul Moat?
Never met him, but he worked for our company before he went to jail.
Right.
And Terry had hit him in the head with a hammer when he sacked him. I think what happened was, I'm sure Raoul had been selling drugs or something in Terry's venue. So Terry's hit him over the head with a hammer and chased him off the door. So we got a phone call, and on the phone call it says, "Terry, Raoul's got a list, yous are on it." So at the time, Godfrey was a gamekeeper, so Godfrey was bringing a shotgun into work. So I don't know if you've ever been to Newcastle Blue Velvet. There was a front entrance. You go down the stairs, and if you come out, there's a back entrance, but you go down the cellar, where the club is. There's another set of stairs, and it takes you around by the car park. So I remember everyone was high alert. Raoul Moat's going to come and shoot her. So I've never met Raoul. He's got nothing to do with me. So I remember Godfrey's bringing in the shotgun, and he's leaving it in the cloak cupboard. And he says as he went, "Mick, if Raoul comes to the front door, you greet him at the front door. He says, I'll run down the stairs out the back and I'll come round the side, I'll shoot him. And I looked at him, I went, Godfrey, you pay me £10 an hour. I went, I'm not going to stand at the front door and get shot. I went, if Round comes to that front door with a gun, I says, I'll be out the back door as fast as lightning. I says, he's shooting policeman, he doesn't care if I'm going to be standing there. No. He's going to blow me head off, man.
I was actually working the door the night where it all come to an end and the TV was up in the bar.
Gazov rocked up.
Yeah. Morty, what did he bring him, like?
Bread,
can of beer, and fish. Did he bring a fishing rod, or there was just a load of old madness? Paul Gascoigne turning up to Ralmote's
that was funny.
Final moments. Do you ever come across Gazza up there?
Oh, yeah, aye. We've got a friend who's Jimmy Firebelly's son.
Ah.
We had an incident where we all got locked up once, and Jimmy's son was with William.
Well, this sounds like podcast material.
What had happened was my brother had lent my cousin some money, and her bloke had two brothers. They thought they were tough, you know. So anyways, Paul's asking for his money back, and my cousin's not giving him it back and not answering the phone. So my brother's phoned her bloke's brother. So anyways, the brothers went, you shouldn't be ringing me. He says, I'm going to come and smash your mum and dad's house up for ringing me. So anyways, at the time, I was working on the lounge. It used to be Lizard Lounge. I'm working on the lounge. So I just get a message on my phone saying, fight me now or I'm going to stab your dad. So I was thinking, hey, what's that? It was on Messenger. So like, I didn't know the kid. So I phoned my dad. I went, Dad, I've just got a message saying that someone's going to stab you. He went, don't worry about it. He says, they come yesterday. And I went, well, he stabbed you? And he went, no. The three brothers come to the house looking for Paul, saying they're going to beat Paul up. So anyways, I phoned my cousin's fella. I phoned him up and I went, what's this? You beat me mum and dad's house? And he's went, oh no, honestly, Michael, don't get involved. It's nothing to do. It's all sorted. I've sorted them out. I went, no, the 3 years have been at my mum's house. I says, I'm telling you now, if something happens to me dad, I'm gonna do the lorries. And he's went, no, I've sorted it all out. Nothing's happening. I went, what's it all over? He went, now it's just over 50 quid. I owe Paul 50 quid. He thought I was avoiding him. So anyways, thought nothing of it. And then I got another message off the brother. Where are you? I want to fight with you now. I says, I'm at the Lizard Lounge in the town, it's opposite Central Station. So I got another message about an hour later. You're not there, you've bottled it. I went, I work there, I'm on the front door. I says, where are you? I'm standing at the front door. So I phoned the one that's with me cousin. I says, your brother's trying to say he's going to have a fight with us. I'm standing at the front door, I haven't moved. He's saying I've bottled it. I says, where is he? I'll have a fight with him. And he went, no, he's just winding up. I says, I'm telling you, if anything happens, I'm going to get off it. So the next morning, of course, I'm working on the door. It was a nightclub. I didn't get in until 4. So I woke up, it's about 10 in the morning. I got about 5 missed calls off my mum. Your dad's had a good hiding this morning. So anyways, there's been 2 of them. On a Sunday morning, my dad's taking the dog for a walk. And they've jumped on my dad and they've took my dad's dog lead off him and started whipping my dad in the face with the metal dog lead, shattered my dad's eye socket. So I was foaming, you know. So trying to look for the brother. It wasn't my cousin's lad, it was the brother. So anyways, I'm looking. I get a phone call. The kid's back in Cheyenne. You gotta come down and get him. So I flies all the way down from Chopwell. So I've chased him on the metro lines. So we've ran into the station. He's ran on the track and he's running down the track. And as he was quite fast. So I remember just seeing these rocks coming over my head. It was me pal actually chucking rocks at him. And I actually got a fright myself. I'm thinking, I'm going to get hit myself. And anyways, the kids turned round and he says, it wasn't me. But I think I was just that annoyed. I had to hurt someone, you know. So, and he did go to my mum's house and he did threaten to smash my mum's house up. So as he turned around, I've just clattered him. And I battered him all over. And I broke his ribs. I think I killed a couple of his teeth, you know. And stamped on him, done what I had to do. And then I remember I got back and I phoned his brother. I says, I've just done your kid. I says, you're next. So he's went, why don't I just get a team of lads and smash your mum's house up? And I went, what? He went, I'll get a team of lads and smash your mum's house up. I went, no worries, I'll get a team of lads. I says, I'll come and meet you. So he's went, I remember I was putting the phone down and his exact words were, make sure you bring your tools. And I remember it was obviously a mobile phone. I went, what? He went, bring your tools. I went, who are you, like Bob the Builder? I said, I'm going to kill you, man. So then he hangs the phone up, we're meeting at this place. Obviously being a doorman, I had a lot of people I could take with us. So I think I turned up, it was about 15 of us. So we turned up in a large gang. Obviously you've got loads of equipment, and we get there, and then he turned up in a black Calibra, and there was 3 of them. And honestly, there was loads of us. So now he's turned up, and he's just drove straight past and phoned the police on me. Honestly, it was like the Sweeney. And there's just police cars everywhere, just come from everywhere. So I remember I stood, I had a SAS mask on, I had a staff vest on, I had lead shot length gloves with hand wraps and steel toe cap shoes, and I had a mash hammer in my pocket. And I remember I had a car full of other equipment. And I remember I was running, because the police were coming, I swear to God, the cop was shouting was freeze, as though we're in America. And I ran behind this alleyway, and there was allotments, and I remember I've got to get rid of the hammer. So I'm running like that, and I thought, I can't chuck it because you're going to say I've chucked something. So I remember I was running, and I've just sort of chucked it like that. And I remember as it left my hand, I thought, don't hit a greenhouse, because you'll hear it shatter, So once I got rid of the hammer, I must have been about 200 metres in front of the copper. And I thought, I can stop now, I think I'm fine. So I stopped, and I went on my knees, he's going, get on your knees. So I'm standing there, and he rugby tackled us. And I don't know if you've ever been on your knees, and someone, he nearly snapped my knee, when he's thinking. So I remember as he's rugby tackled us down, I sort of like turned, and I landed on top of him. And he wasn't like the biggest, strongest copper in the world, so I'm on top of him. And then the woman coppers come running down. She went, he's attacking him. I went, I'm not, when he's like, snap my knee. You know what I mean? I was sore, So anyways, gets locked up. And I remember I had the pickup truck, and I had a checker plate boot. And I'm in the back of the car. All them are waiting around. All my pals are waiting around. And the copper just sort of leant, on the checker plate. And the handle popped up. And he just turned the handle, he just lifted the boot, and he went to arrest everyone. And what was it, about 15 of us all just got locked up straight away.
What was in the boot?
Lots of things.
Lots of things to get you arrested?
Yeah. It's funny now because we got locked up for 2 days, while they were investigating stuff. And it's, you're just in the local police station for 2 days. And that's the worst, because there's nothing there. You just got your little blue mattress. And I remember I was sat there and I was thinking, I'm going to have to sell me flat, to make sure my wife's got enough money. So I had a flat, and I think, if I can sell the flat, I'll sell my car. If I do that, I've got that much money in the bank, and give that to my wife. And then you're sitting there and you're thinking, at the time, my oldest one would have been 7. So I'm thinking, I'm probably going to get 5 years. So you're looking at you think he's going to be that big, and he's going to be that big. And you're sitting there and you're thinking, what have I done, I mean, going back, I would do it again. It's me dad, and I love me dad. If someone smashes me dad up, I'm gonna come looking for you, But when you're thinking, it's like, that's me dad and they're my kids, and I think I'm gonna miss my kids for 5 years, So I was lucky at the time that I had the worry at the time, and I couldn't afford the insurance, so the insurance was in my mum's name. So my mum basically said she was chucking all that stuff out.
Right.
It was all in the bags, ready to go to the tip.
Your mum was throwing out all the collectibles?
Yeah. All the collectible equipment, And because none of them were actually in the car, we're just standing around the car. We all got NFA'd. But it was Jimmy Five-Belly's son was with that day as well. But it was a hairy one, that one.
So you didn't take Gaza with you for the mass brawl?
No, just his pal's son. Just his pal's son.
I wonder if he'd have been up for it.
I think Gaza would, you ever met him?
No, not yet.
He's got like ADHD or something. I think if he says, Gaza, how are we going for a fight? I think you're going like, oh, well, let's go.
I mean, based on what he'd done the night Raul Moat shot himself, I wouldn't put anything past him. So how long were you working the door for?
I was still only about 27 by now.
But still actively working the door?
Door, yeah.
And still Thai boxing?
Yeah, well, that was the hard bit, because like I say, I was an electrician during the day, so I worked 40 hours during the day. And then I probably worked about 35 hours on the night. And then I was still trying to train full time, but I was only getting I'll come in from work at 4 a.m, and then I would I would do the last feed, for the baby, because I had a newborn baby, and I would get 2 or 3 hours sleep, get up, go to work, and then I would try and get a couple hours sleep when I come in from work, or if I could skive off early, because I worked at the council at the time. There was always skiving time at the council. I'd try and maybe get an hour at dinner time, I'd maybe have an hour or two when I come in from work, go straight to the gym, and then from the gym straight back to work, so it was a shit life, really.
So you've always been a straight goer?
Yep.
Always been a grafter, not involved in criminality?
No.
Predominantly a straight goer?
Yep.
Okay. And the big, heavy firms up the north of England, no problems with them?
Got no problems. Many of the issues going on, I think, at the minute, and it's got nothing to do with me, so I just don't get involved in it.
The fighting side of it now. You started Thai boxing, then kickboxing?
Just started Thai boxing. Obviously, I turned up at the gym. Kelso took us, my pal. He's my good pal. He was a boxer, though. So Graham says he wanted to do the Thai as well, so the two went together. Graham was a tough kid where we lived. So anyways, we're in there doing the Thai boxing. Graham sort of died off, didn't want to do the Thai anymore. It hurts your legs. I mean, out of all the sports I've ever done, Thai boxing's the one that hurts the most.
Are your shins still affected?
It's funny now, because people say your shins get conditioned. They don't, you know. You just learn to hide the pain. Every time I kick someone, it hurt me. As much as it hurts you, it hurts me.
Yeah.
And you just learn. You know what it is? I think what Thai boxing and any combat sport teaches you, you learn your body, because, you know, when I get hurt, I think, that really hurt that, but I think that'll go away in 2 minutes. Or I'll go, that really hurt, I think he's cracked me rib, I'm going to have to stop. But I think that's what martial arts and combat sports teaches you. You learn your body, you know, like, no, I've broke that.
Yeah.
I may have to stop there, I've broke that. Especially your ribs. I don't know if you've ever done your ribs before.
Yeah, I have.
It's one of the most painful things you've had. Never, like, I've my hands, all sorts of shapes in my hand.
And the thing is with the ribs, like, I find a lot of things funny. And laughing with broken ribs is not a good...
Sneezing, coughing, you've got to curl up in a ball.
It's not a good combo.
Take my dog for a walk, my dog pulled. I was like, oh man, it's the worst in the world, ribs. But you know, like, if I break my hand, I'll break my hand nearly every fight. But I think when you break your hand, it doesn't bother us, because I think Bare-Knuckle, it's only a 10-minute fight. I can punch you with a broken hand for 10 minutes and it's going to hurt us, but I'll have a cry later. You know, when nobody sees it, I'll probably go in the shower and go, why did I do that? But for 10 minutes, I think I'll live that. But you know yourself, if you crack your rib, that's it, you're done.
Before we get to the bare-knuckle, there's something that you've done monumental that I want to talk about. And I also want to talk about, because you must have sustained God knows how many injuries, which I'm interested in. But yeah, so Thai boxing to kickboxing, was you fighting competitively as well?
Oh yeah, I was fighting all over Europe. Like I say, I started off Thai boxing, loved Thai boxing, that was my first thing, but I always thought the clinch was boring. You know what I mean? I don't know if you've been to a full Thai, and like, I'm deaf in that ear, you know. I've been deaf in there since I was a kid. And, you know, that noise, that, you know, that fucking does me head in. So with me being deaf in that ear, I can only focus on one sound. So when my corner's trying to shout something, I've got that wailing in the background. I cannot hear what's being said. Whereas when I went to K1, the real reason why I went to K1 is I got paid more.
And what's the difference between Thai boxing and K1 for people that don't know?
Back in the day, there was no difference. But the K1 is a Japanese conception. What happened was the Japanese were trying to beat the Thais. The Thais were better at the Japs at the clinch. So the Japanese decided to take the clinch out the game to give the Japanese a better chance of winning. So there's no elbow, no clinch. Sometimes you're allowed to eliminate, you're allowed to hold in one strike. Sometimes you're not.
Right.
So if you go to like K1, it's lots of different rules depending if you go to Infusion, Glory. They've all got a different rule set, but it's roughly the same. Thai boxing, you're allowed to clinch. You're almost allowed to nut with an extent. You know, if you can get your head in, you're allowed to elbow, you're allowed to knee, you can clinch for as long as you're active, you can clinch as long as you want. But it's you get paid very poorly in the UK.
For Thai boxing?
Very poorly. At the high level, I remember Yoko phoned me up. I'd been fighting on Super Combat. I was getting a couple of grand a fight at the time. And at the time, I thought that was mega dough. Because back in the Thai boxing, when it first started, you were paying to fight. So you turn up to the show and say, you need to buy a license. All right, how much is that? 30 quid. So you're paying them £30 to fight on their show. So like, I was game for that. I got to hit someone. I was like, champion, there's me 30 quid. Who am I hitting? You know what I mean? So like, that's the way I saw it. So when you're getting paid a couple of grand, you're like, wow. People are actually paying me to hit somebody else. I thought it was great.
So was it the promoter paying you, or was it through ticket sales?
The promoter. I started, back in the day, it was funny enough, because ticket sales, Barry Norman, when I fought for Barry, he's a good laugh, Barry. And when you first start, you know, because you're training all the time, like, don't drink, don't do drugs. So I'm not out socialising, I'm just training. So when I first started, I was only selling 3-4 tickets. I mean, that last fight I had in Newcastle, I think I sold 560 tickets. So when you go from 3 tickets to But it's just progression, and you've just got to build up a fan base.
That's got to be a nice feeling, that trajectory and the growth of support.
I'll tell you what it is, I would say, because you get different levels of tickets. So you get a 40 quid ticket, 60 quid, 100 quid ticket. And for some reason, I've looked at the £100 tickets and thought they were 40. So I started dishing them out to people for 40 quid.
Making a £60 loss.
And my pals weren't even correcting us. So,
of course they weren't.
So I'm going, yeah, there's a ticket, mate, 40 quid, 40 quid, 40 quid. And then when you're selling 500, it's hard to keep track of 500 tickets. And I was like, yeah, I've lost so many £100 tickets, yeah. And I've got this many extra. And I was like, what the fuck have I done here? And I'm down a lot of money here. So you're trying to work it out. And I just thought I had to text everyone I've sold the ticket to for 40 quid. I knew it was the 40 quid ones by then. So I texted a couple of my pals, can you check your ticket? And they're going, what's happening? I went, does it say £100 or 40? I'd say it's 100 quid. I went out to swap you for a 40. Oh, I thought you were just doing us a favour. I was like, no, mate, I'm not doing you a 60 quid favour.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, not to like 200 people, but it's not frustrating. It's more like it's a head fuck.
I was going to say, if you're preparing for a Thai fight, which is absolutely brutal, the last thing you need is the pressure of selling tickets and all the calculations.
Unfortunately, that's the game.
Yeah.
It's the showbiz game, isn't it? You think, oh, I'm a fighter. You're not. You're a performer. You've got to sell enough tickets to perform for people to watch you to perform.
Yeah, brutal entertainment.
Obviously, now at the stage I'm at now, I don't have to sell tickets over. Well, I don't have to sell hand tickets over. You've got to still try and promote the show, but I don't have to go out selling tickets anymore.
What was your Thai boxing record?
Full Thai, I think I ended up having 37 fights. I think I lost 4.
And how did you win most of them fights?
My first 10 fights, I was just knocking everybody out. Got to think, I was a 16-stone kid, come down with 13 stone to fight. And I managed to maintain that weight, but I swear, I'm 19 stone now. I don't think I'm like mega fat. But when I was 13 stone, I was that skinny. I looked like Freddie Mercury when he was dying of AIDS. On that last concert, I was that thin, and my wife used to go off it. She went, you're disgusting, you look disgusting. And I was like, well, thanks. Honestly, I look see-through. I was that thin.
But you was knocking them all out.
And it's funny now, because the more relaxed you get, the better it is. So you don't feel any pain, and you're that up a height. It was basically, I seen that film where, is he called Jet Li, where Bob Hoskins unleashes him, he just kills everyone. It might as well have just done that to me. It was basically, right, Mick, go and get him. And I was like, champion, I'm going to hurt someone now. And I was just running out. And I don't know, I was probably just an angry young kid, really. When I got to a certain age, I don't know why I was so angry. And I was like, yes, I'm going to hurt as many people as I can, yeah.
Calm and angry.
But only when I was in the ring. As soon as I got in the ring, I thought, someone's getting it. But that's what I'm saying when I get back to that point. It's like, people go, oh, you get more relaxed. And I remember I was about 10 or 11 fights in, and you get more relaxed. You're like, because your first 10 fights, you just want to kill everyone. And then the level of opponent comes up, so you think, I'm going to have to, because you'll end up having a fight where you nearly gas out in your first, second round, and the third round's a little bit scarier, and then you're thinking, I might get hurt back here. So you get to a point where you think, I'm going to pace myself throughout the fight. And I remember I was dead relaxed, dead calm, and the kid started kicking, and I lifted my leg to block it with my shin, and I went, ow. And I was that relaxed, it actually hurt us at the time. I was thinking, this is not going to be fun, this. And I don't know if you've ever blocked a kick with your shin, it hurts.
Oh, it's what put me off going back Thai boxing.
It's a sting up your shin, and it knocks, but like, you've just got to learn. I think I've got a really good poker face, when you hurt me, I would stand there. Inside, I want to cry.
Yeah.
But on the external, I'm like, that was a good shot, that.
Yeah, when it comes to shin on shin, my poker face went out the window. It's like, oh, fucking hell.
Have you ever done a shin on a knee?
No, I've only ever hit pads with a friend of mine, but I've hit pads enough to know that if my shin was to connect with somebody else's shin, that's going to be excruciating. I
got quite good at blocking kicks with my knee. So I'd bend my leg in that sort of position so they would catch right on my knee.
Purposeful.
Yeah, and it's... I also found a technique as well. If I could plant my foot a certain way and turn it out a certain way and bend my knee. Have you ever seen a cartoon, when someone gets hit with an iron bar and they sort of vibrate away?
Yeah.
I could actually feel people's legs vibrating off us. And, like, I would have my leg a certain way, when a court's sweet. And I would feel them go, oh, and the leg would sort of like, and you could feel in them going, oh, no. But it's It's a lovely feeling.
Yeah, when you used to look at an opponent, when you got in that ring, did you look at them like they were human or meat?
Nothing. I've got no care for the person whatsoever. I like... It's a funny thing, it's like blank. I don't care.
And was your intention to win or to hurt?
Hurt. I don't care about the winning, really. I don't like losing. I don't really... I don't know, it's hard to say I don't like winning. I don't know, I hate losing. If I play my kids at Monopoly, I'm beating them. I'll not let my kids beat us at anything. If my kids ever beat me at anything, they've done it for real.
You've got to earn a victory.
Yep.
Yeah.
My dad never let me win.
100%. I mean, I won't veer off down this route, but this is the problem with this day and age. People are getting prizes for finishing last. It's like...
If you look at America, right, and you go to American high schools and they've got track and field and everything they do is based on Olympics. They've got wrestling, boxing in the schools, track and field. You come to England, you've got rounders. What the fuck's rounders doing? You know what I mean? Great game to play when you're a kid. You know,
I used to quite like rounders.
I like rounders, but like, you're not going to be a professional rounders player, are you?
No.
What good is that doing anyway? It's nothing. You need to develop the kids for what they can be when they're older.
Yeah, 110%. And what was your K1 record?
It's hard because like, even the Thai fight sometimes, you know what it is? It's altogether, like I say, I was 37, I lost 4. 37, I lost 4. But like, you go to some promotions, you think you're having a Thai fight.
Oh, so that was your record, Thai and K1 combined?
Altogether, I've had 88 fights. I've lost 7 altogether.
Right. Okay, that's a hell of a record. And is that BKFC included?
Yeah.
Okay, because we'll discuss BKFC completely separate because, again, that's a leap. To go from in the ring with gloves, far more civilised, although when you're elbowing and kicking people in the head, it is brutal, but there's just something about Bare-Knuckle that, you know, everyone's just drenched in blood.
It's the realest I've ever come to having a fight. You know, when you have a fight in the street, having a fight in the ring, because, don't get us wrong, I've kicked people, you know, if I've had a fight with someone in the street, I've kicked them, you know, but like, usually it's a punch in it, you're fighting with fists. But it's the best, honestly, out of all the things I've ever done as well, it's a crazy buzz, you know, when you win. Because like, I don't know if people talk about it enough. It's the buzz when you win. Honestly, you're up for like 3 or 4 days when you win. Mind you, if you ever get beat, it's suicidal. You're sitting there and like you think you've let yourself down, you've let, you know, like your family down, sort of thing. It's
How did this all come about? Because I remember when I used to watch Bare-Knuckle fighting years and years back. There's a local guy called Colin Wilby, and I mean, it certainly wasn't on Instagram and Facebook. It would be sent round, you know.
Yeah.
It wasn't even WhatsApp back then. I can't even remember how I used to watch these fights, but the videos would get sent round your old phones. And it's slowly but surely it's crept in and in and in, and now it's mainstream. So at what point did it come on your radar, and what made you make the shift to no gloves and a lot less rules?
It was my pal, actually, Dave Wieldy. He actually he did own a venue up in Newcastle called the NE6 Suite. And anyways, he realised it wasn't against the law to have a bare-knuckle fight. So the first ever sort of legalised, it's not legalised because it was never illegal, but it was Mickey Mad Dog Ode versus somebody else. And I remember, I think it was at the Icon, I don't know if I fought on the show. But anyways, these two had a bare-knuckle fight and everyone was like, wow, I want to watch this. It's the worst fight I've ever seen. It's basically one clip. I think Mickey got knocked out straight away. That was a fight over. But I think that opened the floodgates, and then you got like the B-Bards and the Hail Bill fights, and you know, where they were putting them in people's pubs and clubs, and I think it started that way. But my first bare-knuckle fight was by accident. Decker Heggie was meant to be the big name, I think, at the time in the bare-knuckle, and he was meant to fight Cowboys Michael Quinn. I didn't know Decker at the time. Like I say, I was in my lane, I was doing the K1.
Yeah.
I think it must have been about a week before the fight, Decker pulled out. So they were desperate to find an opponent. Now, the year before, I'd fought a lad called John Lewis, Big John Lewis, and it was in a glove boxing fight. It was a 4-man tournament. I got John in the final, and I remember I dropped him with the overhand right, and I snapped my thumb clean there, and that bone there split into 3 bits. So my thumb actually dropped into there, and it was funny enough because I remember luckily I've dropped him. So I've hit him, I've dropped him. I've went into the neutral corner, my corner team kid called James Cullen, and I knew straight away my hand had shattered. And I've looked and I went to James, I went, I broke my hand. He went, yeah, he went, mint shot, next shot, right hand, left hook. I went, no, James, I broke my hand, man. He went, right hand, left hook. I was like, no, so anyways, he gets back up and my next shot was, I hit him, I think about there, right hand, left of the body. And Ozzy was pain. I mean, I won the fight. But like I say, you've just got to go through it and have a cry after. I won a canny bit of money that night, the prize money. But I remember I come home, my thumb, like my thumbs, that one was down to there. It was about that big, so I'd shattered. So I hadn't trained or fought in a year. And to be honest, I was hitting an age where I thought, I'm done. I'm getting a lot of injuries.
And how old were you then?
34 maybe. 33, 34. So anyways, hadn't trained for a year. Was getting quite fat, a little bit out of shape. Gets the phone call, Mick, there's a kid coming to fight in Newcastle from Ireland. This Decker he's pulled out and need an opponent. Are you game enough? And as soon as he says, are you game enough? In half he says, could you take it up? Maybe so I would have said no. But as soon as he went, are you game enough? I went, of course I'm game enough. And I went, yeah, go on, I'll have that fight. So that was it, I had the fight. And it was funny enough because I was lucky because I wasn't fit, And anyways, I'm boxing with him. He's good, this Michael Quinn. He's really good. And it's the first time I've ever been hit with a shot where I can't remember any of the fight. So I remember I was chasing around and he's very good. He got me circled into his right hand. So I'm leading on my left, which I shouldn't have been. He's circling away and he's let us get away with it 2 or 3 times. So I think I'm safe. And then he just cracked us with this overhand right. Hit the deck. And I thought my leg had snapped when you watch it back. I still can't remember the fight. So anyways, gets back up. And I remember, in my mind, saying, good shot, mate, and I can't remember nothing. So this was in the first round. So I'm lucky that's happened because I probably wasn't fit. I only had 5 days of fitness to get fit. And we called him and Andy, I remember coming back and Andy was telling us, it was the 3rd round. I was going, is it the 2nd round yet? He's going, Mick, it's the 3rd round. And I was coming back for the 4th round. I was going, is it the 2nd round yet? And he's going, Mick, it's the 4th round. And the 5th round, I've done it. It's the 2nd round yet? He's going, Mick, it's the 5th round. And I think because his head is that hard and I can't remember the fight, I didn't realise I wasn't fit. And I've just kept going. Anyways, I ended up beating him. So once I beat him, that was it. All the other bare-knuckle companies are trying to, approach us, come fight for us. And obviously I was going to stay with the knuckle promotion because of out of loyalty. And something happened. James Quinn ended up having a fight with this other lad, Sean, something he was called. And that company just dissolved. It was internally between them, the company dissolved. So then I went to BKB. So I ended up working my way up there and I won the world title on that one. And then I wrapped in. I was after a certain fight, I couldn't get it. I says, you've got, I'm 35. And if you don't fight, that's it, I'm wrapping in. So the fight never happened. I've wrapped in. And then I got a phone call of a kid called Mozzie from Manchester. And I met him because he used to do a little bit of filming for the BKB. And anyways, he phoned us up. He went, there's a new American promotion. Do you want to fight for them? And I went, I think at the time I was 23 stone. I was like, no, definitely not.
And by this stage, had you in your head officially retired?
I've been retired 3 years.
Right. Okay.
So, and anyways, Mozzie's, he phoned us again the next day. I had any more thought. I was like, Mozzie, man, I'm fat as fuck. I'm not doing it. And he went, it's in America. I went, do you reckon you'll be able to get us a visa so I can move there? Because I've been on holiday there a few times, Florida, and I thought, I wouldn't mind moving there with the kids. It's probably a better life in England. And he's went, probably so I'll be able to get you a work visa, which will give you a couple of years there. So I sat there and I went to my wife, I went, there's a chance we could move to America, yeah. I said, I've just got to have a couple of fights. My wife's gone, no, don't do it, you've wrapped in, everything's good, you're making money. Because people don't realise when you're training, you're not making money.
Nah.
You're training. You're not making nothing, you're just in the gym 24 hours a day, really. So anyways, I managed to talk my wife around. I phoned Mozzie, I went, go on, I'm in. So I literally had 6 months to go from 23 stone down to 19, which was hard, and I've got videos when I first started training again, I was fat. In fact, I was fat as fuck, I was like a big double chin, tits, the lot, I had yeast marks, after the sweat under my tits. But so I had to graft really hard, for the 6 months to get the weight down. And anyways, I got myself really fit, and it was during COVID this was happening. It would have been August 2021. Right, when get your fight in Florida, Tampa, you've got to go to Mexico for 2 weeks to isolate. and then go from Mexico to Florida and have the fight. No problem. At the time, I was fit as fuck. Honestly, I was like 10 shot combinations on the pads, just dead fluent, dead fast. Everything was going right. We got into Mexico, everything was great, and I think we're about 5 days in, we just got ill. Like, seriously ill as well, you know. And I remember I'm lying in bed, and I think I lost about 3 stone in sweat. And it started off, it was me back in, I thought I'd rigor mortis. So I'm lying in bed, I woke up one day, and my trainer, my bed's here, the manager's bed there, Muzzy, and my trainer's at the bottom, he's got a bed down there. And I've woke up now, I've been the first to get home. Well, I went, my back's killing. So then we're going to go get some food, and I love eating. I says, I'm going to wait in bed. I says, I'm wrecked. So I've just slept all day, but honestly, the sweat coming out of us. Anyways, then me train. I mean, we've got a thing in our gym. It doesn't matter what's wrong. You could have your arms being chopped off. And you'll come in and go, I can't train my arms chopped off, and you're going, soft cut. That's everything softitis in our gym. Oh, what's that? You got soft cutitis. Everything in our gym, you could have your head chopped off. You're walking in, you know, like Monty Python, you've got...
the Holy Grail.
Everything in our gym, that's what it is, you're a soft cut. So I remember I'm lying in bed, dying. My trainer's a little ginger thing. And he's going, you're just a soft cut. I thought, I can't even argue with, you know, I was that unwell. I was like, hey, but I'm soft. So I lay in bed, and anyways, the next morning I wakes up, he's called Andy, my trainer. I looks up, and he's like, he went, I went, are you not well? He went, no, I went, soft cut. So now Mozzie never got it. So we thought we'd just done well. Turned out we had COVID. So I said to Mozzie, I can't fight. I said, I can't even stand up. And I remember, Mozzie's my pal, and I was going to chin him on this trip. And I remember it's in Mexico, it's 34 degrees, and I'm trying to put the aircon on because I'm sweating that much. And I'm not exaggerating now. My sheets were like soaked. And I would have to slap my bed sheets on the floor, and I would have to get a whole new set of bedding halfway through the night because I was sweating that much. It was like I'd wet myself, you know, I was that wet. And I wakes up in the middle of the night, it's 30 degrees on the thermometer. I was like, something's went wrong. So I went up, I wakes up, and I shuffles over, turns it back down, gets back in the bed. I wakes up about 5 in the morning, 30 degrees again. So I was like, what's going on? So I've turned the thermometer back down. I went, honey, the thermometer's knackered, mate. I says, I keep waking up, it's 30 degrees. I'm putting it on like 2 degrees. I says, something's went wrong. He went, it's Mozzie, he keeps waking up and turning it up. Now, me and Annie are dying. He's perfectly fine. So I looked at him and I went, Mozzie, what's the crack? I said, you turn that up? He went, he's a monk, you know. He went, come on, lads, I can see me breath. And I went, you fucking little bastard, you know. And I was that angry, I thought I'm going to crack him here, and I was that weak, I fell over. I just fell over, so I crawled back in the bed, and I just thought, you little bastard. And I said, Mozzie, it's the first time I've never ever pulled out a fight in my life. I went to Mozzie, I don't think I'll have this fight. And I said, I can't even stand up. I didn't eat for 5 days or something before the fight. And Mozzie's went, no, you'll be all right, man. Get to America, you'll be sound. I went, I'll be sound. He went, 100% you'll be sound. Once we get to America, I'll tell him you can't fight. I says, are you sure? And we didn't even know we had COVID at the time, right? But I remember we were trying to get tests with it. We're not sure what it was. And I remember I bought some Vicks Vapor Rub. I put it on my chest. I thought, it's got any smell, that. So I went there and I went, it probably snide. It's Mexican. It said Vicks. But I thought, because we're Mexican, it will be a snide. So I went to Andy. I went, Andy, can you smell that? And he went, I went, Mozzie, come here. And I went, Mozzie, can you? And I put it in his nose, and he got a tear in his eye, you know, with a menthol. And I went, can you smell that? And he went, I went, we're fucked, you know. So Mozzie's went, don't worry, I'll get yourself over. I'll make sure you don't fight. So I remember we gets over there. Of course, we're all fighting now. We're there. Mozzie's like, go on, lads, get yourselves in.
Mozzie's the ultimate salesman, isn't he?
Aye. So this is how bad it was, right? We got an Uber. And because you can't smell, right? I don't know, did you get the COVID?
I've had it a few times.
I'd shit myself, of course you can't smell that, you shit yourself. And like, it's coming out, and I remember the woman driver in Uber, I'm on this side in America, she's on that side. And I remember she just went like that, and she's looking at the side, and I'm busy talking to her. I'm like, oh, you all right? Anyways, I get out and I had shorts on, I thought, what's that on my legs? And obviously I'd shit myself, I didn't even smell it. I didn't know, and I thought, I'm fucking shit myself, you know. So the day of the fight, it's horrible this, you know, because I never ever go into a fight and I'm going to get beat. But I was at home with, I remember, I was sat in the toilet, shit myself again, and my wife's phoned us. So I gets on the phone and she went, how are you feeling? I went, well, shit. So I said, I'm going to get chinned, yeah. I said, I kind of throw 1-2. So anyways, my wife's crying her eyes out, her dad's there with her, my father-in-law, and he's trying to console her. I comes out and Andy's sat there and he went, what you just said to Carmen there? I went, well, I said, I'm going to get chinned, yeah. And he went, you can't do that, Mick, she's going to be really upset. I was like, fuck, you reach your will. I went, right, leave it with us. So I went back in the toilet, I phoned out, I went, you'll never guess what, Carmen. She went, well, I went, I feel mint. And she went, you're just saying it? I went, honestly, I've just come out the toilet, I feel great, I think I'm going to win this fight. And she went, I know you're lying to us. I went, honestly, I'm sound. Obviously, I wasn't. So we get in the arena, and I remember I'm standing at the curtain. It's the horriblest feeling in the world because I know I've got no chance of winning. And the curtain opens, I remember Andy whacked us on the back. And he went, come on, Mick. And I went, Andy, that really hurt, that, you know. And he went, shut up, man. I went, Andy, that really hurt us. I went, I'm going to get chinned here. And I basically went out and got chinned. I mean, it's the horriblest feeling in the world because you always think you're going to win. And then that one time I knew, no, I'm going to get beaten now. It's going to really hurt us, this.
Why didn't you pull out the fight? Pride?
No, it's not that, you know.
You thought Mozzie's done such a good job getting me here?
Not Mozzie. You've got to think the company's paid for me to go to Mexico for 2 weeks. So BKFC's paid me to go there. Imagine I've had a 2-week holiday and I say, guess what, I can't fight. Can't fight, I'm not very well. There's one thing I'm not a coward. You know what I mean? So like, and we just had a thing on the build-up now that actually come out and it says, you've never pulled out of a fight before. I went, unless you chop my arm off, I'm not pulling out of a fight. And then literally 2 days later I got ill and I thought, I can't be saying that.
Nah.
And then pulling out, I've got a cold.
You're now hung by the tongue.
So I just thought, I've said it, I've got to do it.
So your first BKFC fight was a loss?
Yep.
And how did you bounce back from that?
Well, I got put on the shelf straight away.
Oh, really?
It's you know, like, obviously it took a lot for them to get us into America. Of course, I've left BKB as the champion. And I think them have just basically thought, we beat the Brit now, we don't need them now, we beat them. The Americans are better.
Right.
So I sat on the shelf for about a year, and it was Mozzie signed a kid called Conor McGregor. He went and fought in America. He won, done very well. So it sort of got Mozzie some good steady, you know, in there. He had a little bit of like negotiation power. So they ended up doing a show in Wembley, and Mozzie managed to get me on that show. Of course, it come out that I had COVID as well, so they weren't very happy that I travelled with COVID. So Mozzie managed to get us on the Wembley show, and I fought a kid called Sam Shoemaker. He was called the Hillbilly Hammer. That was his name. He was meant to have the biggest punch in the organisation. I mean, at one point he did, it was like watching Spider-Man, you know, when you see a punch go past your face. I remember he threw it, and I remember he punched it. I remember watching, he missed it. And I thought, wow, if that had hit me, I would have took me head off that league. And anyways, I knocked him out in the first round.
So the second one, victory.
Yep.
And how many fights have you had so far in the BKFC?
5.
So they're the first 2 fights. So run me through the next 3 so I'm up to speed.
So Arnold beat me, and then Arnold went on to win the world title. So I fought Sam. Sam went the distance with Arnold. Of course, I wasn't ill when I fought Sam, so I knocked him out straight away. So once I knocked Sam out, they decided to put a show on in Newcastle. And I fought another American called Steve Panda Banks. So I fought Panda. He was a giant of a man. He was like 6 foot odd. I don't know if you've seen that fight. He must have had about 50 stitches in his face, him. So I fought him in Newcastle, beat him, and that was my title eliminator because Arnold's now won the title. So I now get a rematch at Arnold because everyone knew I was ill.
The fact you were fighting in Newcastle, did you feel more powerful fighting on your home turf?
Doesn't bother us.
Don't care.
I swear, you know, once I get out there, and I don't even notice anybody there.
You can't even sense the crowd cheering you on. You're just in the zone.
I'm just there, just looking as though me and you was looking at each other. It's funny now because he's a big bloke as well, you know. And I remember, usually I want to make eye contact all the time. So you staring at him, and he just got down and done the splits. Now he's about 6'5". Maybe he's like 20 stone. And like I'm staring him in the eye thinking, you know, you're going to battle with a man.
This is in the ring?
In the ring.
And he's done the splits in the ring?
So I'm standing looking at him like that. We're just about to have the fight. And he just went down, done the splits. And I remember I was sat there, I thought, he's kind of flexible. Like, he's a Thai boxer. He was the Thai boxing world champion at the time in Thailand. but he was American, moved over there. And there's actually videos, and I'm actually looking at him, and I'm thinking, I might be in for a hard time, yeah, like he can move. Turns out I wasn't. I smashed him all over. But so obviously I'd done Panda. The next fight was Arnold again.
So your fourth fight was a rematch from fight one where you lost?
Yeah. I fought Sam in the August. And then I fought Panda in the November. Middle of September, somebody burgled us.
Someone burgled you?
Yeah. And in the north, we call him the Ben. There's me little laddie. Would have been 12, 13 at the time. I'm lying in bed. Comes in, he went, Dad, someone's pinched me bike. I went, he hasn't, man. He hasn't. He went, no, Dad, my bike's gone. Like, he should have had the bike in the garage, but he hasn't. He's left the bike outside the garage. It's in the backyard. But my backyard, I've got a 14-foot wall all the way around. So I went, are you sure? He went, Dad, the back door's been kicked open. The bike's gone. So it's my own fault as well, because I turned off the alarm on the CCTV because the cats were setting it off. So he's kicked the door through, and then you see him run past the camera, and he's obviously trying to get the Ben's bike. And I had 3 bikes in the yard at the time. He had a Scott downhill Gambler. It's an expensive pedal bike. Of course, my dogs are fast asleep, haven't even bothered to wake up. I think, what's the point in them? You know what I mean? They've done now for us. So anyways, I'm looking on the camera, and I'm in my underpants, scratching my balls. And I'm looking at the Ben when he's definitely pinched the bike. And I went, you're right, son, he has. He's pinched your bike. And I'm watching it on the camera. I was like, right, no worries. So I put on, it's an unusual bike. There's not many of them. So anyways, puts it on their Facebook, bike's missing. Anyone sees a bike, let us know. So I went to Ben, don't worry, I'll get the bike back today. So I went, you'll have to walk to school though. So he's off to school. And I'm busy going around the Percy Hudson's, a place for wood. I thought I wanted to build a new back door, yeah. So went around Percy Hudson's, buys the materials. So I would have been about 45 minutes later, I get a phone call, I've got your bike. So I was like, all right, champion. But it was up Newcastle City Centre, that's about 8 miles away. So he pinched the bike, got on the metro from North Shields, went up, it's a place called Manners. He's trying to sell the bike there for, I think, a tenner. It's like a $3,500 bike. He's trying to sell it for a tenner. So anyways, because I've got it on Facebook, the kids pulling me when, you cannot sell that bike, mate. It's shared everywhere now. People, you're going to get a good hide. So the kids clipped him, took the bike off him. So I went up to Manners. I had a van at the time, so I flies up. I think I give the kid 200 quid for getting the bike back for us. So I gets the bike. So he's been clipped off that kid. And then my pal phoned us the next day. And he's went, I've seen the kid that's pinched your bike. I went, all right, sound. He went, I've bashed him. I was, all excellent. So fixes the back gate. Anyways, I get a phone call. You know that kid that's pinched the Ben's bike? I went, he went, he's in the pub. I went, champion, keep him there. It's funny, really. Sat on a stool, he's on his phone. Now I've walked over, I've got a hood on. I've just walked up to him, he stood up and he stretched like that and he went, women there, and I just knocked him out. So I swear, I was that annoyed he's burgled us, you know, because it's a personal attack, lad. And I've hit him, he's landed about 5, 6 feet further. And I shouldn't have done it, but I've ran over and I went to kick him in the head, you know. He's on the floor. And then it was me left shoe. I went to kick him with my left foot, and my left shoe just took off, top cornered it. So I've ended up kicking him barefoot. and I knew straight away I'd broke my foot. So anyways, I've had to go and collect my trainer, hobbled back over, and I've noticed people are watching, you know, so I put my shoe back on, and he's totally out, so I've just walked straight down the alleyway, and I knew people are watching us, so I thought, I cannot show anyone that I'm hurt. So I've walked down the alleyway, and he's still knocked out, left him there, and as soon as I got round the corner, I was like, oh no, I broke my foot. Like that, and I thought, but nobody's seen it, you know, so I've had to quickly hobble back to my car. Fuck, I'm going to have a fight camp now with a broken foot, so instead of running, I was just having to go on the exercise bike. So I ended up having that Panda fight, full fight camp with a broken foot. So that was a bit shit for us. So anyways, has a Panda fight. In the middle of the fight, Panda's managed to get us in a headlock. Like I say, he's 6'5", he's 20 odd stone. And as I've come up, he slipped 4 discs in my neck. So like I didn't even feel it at the time, but after the fight I went on holiday, lying in bed on holiday, and then my left arm just stopped working. So I've woke up, I was in Florida, woke up, my left arm's gone. And I was in agony and I didn't know what had happened. So I comes back, turns out, got the x-rays back at home, CT scan, slipped 4 discs in my neck, got a trapped C6, C7 nerve, my left arm's not working. And for some reason, like, I knew I had the title fight coming up, and I thought it's going to be April, May. I was just having to walk around with my hand in my pocket, so I couldn't even lift it. So anyways, it was June 18th, the day after my birthday, I got a phone call off filming. Right, we sorted the Arnold Adams fight out. Can you take the fight? I went, yeah, no problem. And my lass is going, why you took that fight if your arm doesn't work? I went, I'll just have to fight with one arm. So the fight was meant to be in the August. I thought, give myself 6 weeks, I'll start getting shock therapy on it. I think if I give myself electric shocks, I might shock it back in. And anyways, luckily the fight got cancelled in the August, and it was meant to be the September. And I got cancelled in the September, I went to October, and it ended up being on it was December the 1st, I think, was it? December the 1st. So they gave me arm another 6 months to heal before the fight. But I remember even at the time when I fought for the world title, my arm didn't work. So if you watch, I've got a big scar on my eye. But this arm didn't work, so I had to try and keep that hand from there to there. Now, because every time I lifted it, it would just drop. So I ended up having to fight with one arm. So my arm's only just started working again properly now. It took 2 years for my arm to heal.
Who was the guy that at the press conference pushed you in the head?
Lorenzo.
Was that the last fight you've had?
That was the last fight, yeah.
Okay, so I'm kind of up to speed now, and you won that.
Yeah.
Is that all for show, or was he just being a prick?
Both. It was...
Because you took that very well.
It was hard, you know. It was hard. Because I like Lorenzo. I like the way Lorenzo fights. I was actually a fan of Lorenzo, you know. And I know he does the shit talking, but I've got a big, massive, giant devil tattoo on my back. And I don't know if he's just seen that and thought, he's what did he call it? A white supremacist in a Aryan Brotherhood. That's what he says. He went, you're a racist Aryan Brotherhood. I was like, what? Where are you getting that from? You got a devil on your back? I went, mate, I had about 5 tattoos on my back. I was getting a cover over. I says, there was a choice of 3. That one covered it over the best. I says, I had 3 tattoos to pick from. I says, that's what it is. So then he just kept going with it. Oh, no, he's a white supremacist. He's this, he's that. And I was thinking, fucking awesome. So... and
you still like him?
Because he's really done us a massive favour.
Okay, good. Because I'm just thinking that's a real bad label to give someone.
Yeah, but
if it sticks.
I'm still annoyed about that. So does all the press conference. He was saying that I was slow, us Brits can't fight, he was going to punch us all over. And we'd done the press conference at Mario Lopez. And I was dead calm, and I says, you can't fight on the back foot. I says, when I get you on the back foot, I'm going to punch you very hard, lots of times. As soon as I catch you on the chin, I'm going to knock you out. And he looked at us, he went, no, it's not. He went, you know when you fall asleep and you wake up and you think you've nearly died? He went, that's what you're going to feel like. So that was the press conference. Gets the thing, he sits in my chair. I thought, yeah, we're going. Because I had a nice shirt on for the press conference, and he hid a tomato in someone's face on one of them. I thought, if you knock my shirt, I'm going to knock you. Like, you can do what you want to me, but don't knock me clothes. So anyways, that's what I was expecting, but he'd done nothing. And I thought, oh, well, gets a press conference, he's in my chair. And he was saying it was the A side and the B side. The A side is the champion side. He had to go on the loser side. But you're talking on the loser side, there was like ex-UFC veterans, world champions, pro boxers. And he's gone, I'm not sitting on that side with them losers. I'm thinking, mate, they're much better fighters than you. You know what I mean? Settle down when it's just a seat. So I says, I'm not moving. That's my chair. It's got my name on it. I'm not moving. So I sat there and we're having an argue on. And then he said something and he pushed us in the head. And my reaction is to jump up. But when you look at it, I'm in a weak position. He's above us now, stood up. I thought if I jump up, he's going to jump on us out. It's going to make us look even weaker. So like I thought, right, you little bastard, you know, I was foaming. And then we're doing that interview with Schmo. You ever heard of Schmo? He's got the yellow glasses. So I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, I wanted to bite him. I was just thinking, I'm going to grab your head and bite you. And I'm standing there looking at him. And Schmo said something. As soon as the camera went down, he patted us on the shoulder. He went, great TV, Mick. And I looked and it sunk in and I thought, at the time I was still pissed off at him, but I thought, you've done me a massive favour here because everyone hates you. And everyone's starting to like me. If I knock you out here, I'm going to be the hero here. And our hotel, the venue was there and our hotel was literally across the road, 10 metres away. From me walking 10 metres, every American I encountered after that says, I hope you smash him all over. So his own people turned on him. So like he'd done us a massive favour. So like at the time I hated him, but you know, since the fight happened, I think, thank you very much.
Yeah, so how did that fight go?
Smashed him all over.
Not a problem.
I knew it. He was a middleweight trying to come up to heavyweight. He was cruiserweight. So he was middleweight, cruiserweight. And you could just say he was full of steroids. You know, when you're full of steroids at cruiserweight and you're trying to get a heavyweight, you're just blown out on steroids. So you'll know this as well when you train. You know what? Now, if you're 13 stone, full of steroids to 15 stone, but I'm 20 stone, coming down to 18 stone, natural.
Yeah.
I'm stronger than you.
Yeah.
I don't care how much weight you can lift. Naturally, when I lean on you, I'm stronger than you. So anyways, it was a funny thing because he's very explosive. He's come out flying and he's shorter than me, but he wears lifts in his shoes. So, you know, the press conference, like, we were trying to gauge his size.
Is that public knowledge?
Oh, I outed him on it straight away.
I bet you love that.
I brought a tape measure. I went out and bought a tape measure. I said, oh, because you're trying to tell people he's 6 foot. He's not, he's about 5'10", 5'11". So I brings a tape measure and he wears furs to make him look bigger again. So a fighter will look at another fighter and you're trying to gauge his size, his strength. And I'm looking at him and thinking, and his head seemed about that wide at the time. He's got like a jerry curl type thing he had at the time. And I'm looking at him thinking, he's a lot bigger than I thought he was. So I'm looking at him and he's got big muscly arms and he's got this big fur coat on. I'm looking at him thinking, shit, he's about that wide. His head's like that. That's going to be hard to knock out. He's quite tall. He's taller than I thought he was. And I'm thinking, what's my range going to be like? So I'm going up to touch him now. I'm touching him like that to say, yeah, all right, mate, but I'm not. I'm saying how far away he is.
Yeah.
Like as I'm talking to him in the press conference, I'm always trying to do that. I'm thinking, that's where my foot needs to be when I catch him with that. And anyways, gets in the fight, comes flying at us, and I'm just circling off. He cannot land a shot on us. And I remember he's went to high a shot, and I touched him on the shoulder, and he'd done almost a cartwheel. And I thought, you can't hit me. You can't reach. As long as I'm doing that, you can't hit us. So he's come out, he's had a few more shots, he's been close on a couple, missed, and I've caught him with a big right hand. And I caught him with another shot. And I remember thinking, but he's still coming forward, and I remember thinking, Mickey's not landing any shots and he's winning the fight. I'm going on the back foot. So I just turned it, I went straight on the front foot, hit him a couple of times. And you know, when I grabbed him in the clinch, it was like an empty tracksuit. Honestly, it was like nothing. I was just throwing him around. I thought, this is easy, this. And I heard my corner team just shouting, now, get him now. And I caught him with an uppercut. And we worked on it. Uppercut, step off, uppercut again. Luckily for him, the second uppercut never landed because I knocked him off his feet on the first one. And the second uppercut missed him by that much. And at the time, he left arm still wasn't working. I should have went uppercut, left hook. But when uppercut again, he'd already hit the deck and he'd actually snapped his own arm when he landed. So
Game over.
It was funny to watch.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go back and I'm gonna relive the whole thing now that I know more about the backstory. I mean, it had the desired effect because when I was watching the press conference when he pushed you in the head, I thought that's infuriating, and that's just from somebody watching. So 5 bare-knuckle fights under your belt for the BKFC. You're the heavyweight champion of the world, which is a hell of a statement. You've got your 6th fight coming up in the States. It's the big one. I mean, they've all been big, but there's something more about this one. So tell me, what date are you fighting? Where are you fighting? And what is the significance of this one compared to the rest?
We'll be fighting January 25th in Philadelphia, America. It's Ben Rothwell. I mean, every show that they do on the Knuckle Mania, the next one's the biggest one. I think what it is, the sport is building that much traction. They're getting that much sponsors, that much, backing now. Because at the time, everyone just thought it was for thugs. Oh, it's just a bunch of thugs. It's like a bloodbath. It is a bloodbath. But, it's becoming more mainstream. So the next one is a kid called Ben Rothwell. He's ex-UFC. He's been in with people like Andrei Arlovsky, Cain Velasquez, Mark Hunt. He's fought all these, and he's a big lad as well. I'm not a little person, and I look little next to Ben, so...
So do you think Ben Rothwell's going to be a problem?
All the problem. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a funny thing, because you see online, and they'll say, like, Mick's fighting Ben Rothwell, and everyone's going, Mick's going to smash Ben, just because I'm the champion at the minute, and, I know me supporters, and I love the fact that people support us, but this isn't an easy fight, you know what I mean? I'm looking at this fight, and I think I found a way I'm going to win the fight. I always think, there's always a way. Doesn't matter doesn't matter where you look, there's always a way. There's always something he's doing wrong. And if he's doing something wrong, you can find a way to get it. And I think I found that way to get it. And I think what I do very well is I study fighters. So, like, I haven't been very well last week. I was a bit under the weather. So instead of just lying in bed feeling sorry for myself, I just kept watching Ben Rothwell fights, and I'm just watching. And there's little things that Ben does that I've now, it's a pattern. And if you ask fighters about fights, right, everything's a pattern. If you can figure out the pattern and you can get there before him. So let's say the pattern's 1-2 left hook. So when that right hand comes, if you can get in before the left hook, you can get your shot before him. But it's like a preemptive counter. So I know what's coming. So if you can find the pattern, get the preemptive strike in, you'll do all right. So you've just got to nitpick and you've got to look at foot movement. His foot moves that way when he does this. So eventually you'll start realising when his foot does that, he's going to throw that. And once you get that in your brain, it becomes a second nature and makes the fight a lot easier. So I think I found a formula that's going to win it for us. But, you know, when you see how people going, Mick's going to smash him all over.
Yeah.
It's not that easy.
Nah. And is there any grudges between the two of you?
Nah, he's a mint kid. I like Ben, you know. And
does it make it tougher then if there's obviously mutual respect amongst warriors, but if like you're quite fond of him, does that make the fight more difficult?
No. The way I say it, right, people take fighting too personal. Do you know if you were playing football against your friend, you know, if you scored a hat-trick, what would your celebration be to him? You'd be going, you fucking idiot, I've done a hat-trick.
Yeah.
That's no different than fighting. People take the fight game too personal. I just class it as a game. If I'm going to spoil you, I'm going to hurt you as best I can. I'm going to laugh at you when I do it as well. I'm going to think, I caught you with that punch. And it's no different from scoring a goal into your pal. You wouldn't go into a game of football and say, I can't play that team, you know, my pal plays on that team. You wouldn't do that.
No.
So it's no different than fighting. For me, it's not personal.
And of all the people that you fought, have you remained friends afterwards then?
I fought a kid called Romy De Silva from down this end. Bashed him up. I mean, his nose went about that wide after the fight and took him for a curry straight after.
Always forgiven and forgotten.
Like I say, I've got nothing personal. And once you get in that ring, I'm going to try and kill you. And then once you're out the ring, you're my pal again.
What about the build-up? Some people do cross the line. Is it...
Like Lorenzo?
Yeah. Do you think to yourself, well, it's showbiz, or do you think, no, you've crossed the line there?
Yeah, but I would never want to show it because the thing with Lorenzo, you know, when he was calling us all the things he was calling us, he was wanting the reaction. So I just, backstage, when he wasn't there, I was absolutely foaming, effing and blinding him myself, thinking, should have done this. It's like, I should have jumped up and strangled him. I should have done this, but then he's beat you. He's beat you on the mind game. Everything's a game to me, everything. So if I just sit there motionless and just stare him blank in the face, he cannot read what I'm thinking. I think that's the game. If people can't read what you're thinking, you've got an advantage.
Yeah. So going into this upcoming fight on the 25th of January, on a scale of 0 to 10, how confident are you that you're going to win that fight?
10.
10 out of 10.
I think I've found it. I'm confident we're going to win the fight. It's not going to be an easy fight. I'm probably just going to come out that fight with about 20, 30 stitches in my face, but I think I'll win that fight.
Whenever I watch a bare-knuckle fight, especially the ferocity of the BKFC, you know, you two warriors in there and they're going at it as if they're fighting to the death, and you've, of course, got to have that mentality. But speaking of injuries, punching somebody and they duck and you smashing them in the forehead, which every single fight I see, people are getting hit in the forehead or the top of the head. Surely every single fight, it's almost certain you're going to break your hands.
It's a funny thing, you know, like, generally, you know, for a fight, I don't even think about the fight, you know, right up till the second week. I just carry on training as normal. Obviously, I'll look through the fight and I'll think, that's what I need to work on. So what I'll do is, I'll try and plan how the fight's going to go, and I can, right, I'm probably just going to break my shoulder, I'll break that hand, and I'll break that, but if I can do that and still win the fight, everything's good. So I'll sit there and I'll process it for a little bit, and I'll sit there and I'll think, well, out of it, I'm going to get X amount of money. Everyone's going to think it's great, and I'm only going to break that hand. That'll heal in 6 weeks. That's going to heal. That's going to hurt for a bit. I'm not going to be eating my tea for a little bit. But I think I'll live with that. I'll be sound. I'll sit there for about 10, 20 minutes. I'll go, right, that's it. It's done. That's what I'm going to do. And once I've got it in my head that that's going to break, that's going to break. And if it doesn't, it's a bonus.
Your pre-fight mind chest consists of the amount of injuries you're going to sustain and then how you're going to overcome them during the fight.
Yep.
That's raw.
It's
That's raw. And how many times have you broke your hand? So I can see your hand now. You've got like a big lump in the middle of it.
So I fought John Lewis the first time, broke out the thumb where that broke clean in half, that shattered into 3 bits. And then I fought John Lewis again, bare-knuckle, for the BKB. And I had a metal plate in there, and then I snapped the plate. So that's why that one's so far up.
You snapped the plate?
Aye, it was exactly what you said. I had a forehead. So it was the last shot in the first round. And he's beating us in the round. I'm losing the round. And then I've just caught him with a little short right hand, but he's done that. And John Lewis has got the biggest head you've ever seen. Every time I hit John Lewis in the head, I break my hand. I fought him a couple of times. And I caught him. I remember I've hit it, and it's called a boxer's fracture. I've punched wrong. I've hit him on that one. I remember I come back the corner. But 2-3 corner team at the time. Sean Barry, Arnie Davison, Baz Jones. Baz is a little bit eccentric sometimes. If he thinks you broke your hand, he might pull you out. So I remember, see, it's bare-knuckle to see. So if you watch us stand in the corner, I've got my hand behind my back. So I think if Baz sees that, he might start panicking and pull his out here. So I've come back and he's gone, right, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. And I was like, all right, no worries. And second round went out and just smashed him all over, won the fight. But anyways, again, people don't realise that when you break, your finger disappears. So that finger had moved down, because the bone had snapped. And what had happened, had done that. So my bone's sort of sticking up here. So the first time I broke it, all the doctors do, they just pull it. So he pulled it and then they put a plate on it when he was asleep. So I looked at Baz and when the change room, it was hurting as well. I remember I was standing, I was like, Baz, just pull it. And he went, I would just pull it, he'll pull it into a line. And he wouldn't. So I ended up having to pull it myself. Clicked it back and I thought, that'll do. I'll go and get myself a burger and that after the fight because it's like 12 o'clock at night. So one, Birmingham, Coventry. I says, right, how will we go and find somewhere to get something to eat? So I went and got a burger. And that was on the Saturday night. So on the Sunday, my wife said, I think you might have to go to the hospital for that. And I went, I don't know, I think the piss heads will still be on off the night before. I'll go on the Tuesday. So I left out the Tuesday, I went along. And the surgeon looked at me and he went, you've snapped it on the last screw on the plate. I went, all right. He went, I think you've done a good job pulling that in there, And I went, I think I'll just leave that. I went, oh, sound, that'll do me. And that was it, off you go.
What about the jaw?
I didn't know I broke my jaw after the fight, so I went to get a burger. The same burger. that was the worst bit, because in them you weighed in on the same day. So, you don't want to look like too fat on the thing, so you try to not eat, so you cut in a little bit better, So if I had nothing to eat before the fight, of course you weigh and you don't want to have anything to eat because you don't want to have a stitch in your fight. So as the fight, and I went later and I went, and I just cracked down and I went, fuck, and it hurts. I don't know if it hurts, And I just cracked it on the hinge and I thought, I'm not leaving me burger. I'm starving, so I just sucked it. Went the car on the way back, was just sucking the burger. But it's funny now because my kid used to play football on a Sunday morning, 9 a.m. So it didn't matter, I was fighting in London, Coventry, didn't matter where I fought, I had to quickly travel back. I usually get back in the house 4 or 5 in the morning. And I had to get up at 7, 8 in the morning to get the bent of football.
You're 41 now.
Yeah.
How many years do you think you've got left in you?
Do you know what it is? I've never abused my body. I've never took drugs. I've never really drunk. The only thing that's going to do us in is ice cream and cakes.
They'll do it.
They will, as long as I can keep the titties off. I think I'll keep going. I think it's really, I always say, if you're getting beat off kids in your own gym, it's time to give in. If you can't beat the kids in your own gym, don't do it. But at the minute, I'm doing all right.
Still beating the youngsters?
Yeah. It's a funny thing, it's horrible, really. Got my pal Lloyd Walton. Good kid, big lad. And every day, this is why I get off Lloyd every day. I'm going to chin you one day. This is because obviously you're beating them up every day, aren't you? So I'm going to chin you one day. And I'll just look Lloyd dead in the face and I'll go, yes, Lloyd, you will one day. But that day is not the day. And I'll go and beat him up. But one day he will beat us up, And once that day comes, it's his time to shine, isn't it?
It's mad because a lot of men now, at a young age, they're falling to pieces and it's as if the world's beating them. And I'm sat opposite a man who's 41 and you're still beating youngsters and you're still ready to go and you've got no intention of giving up fighting whatsoever.
They're probably just too game for my own good. Even when I'm not fit, people can, do you want to spar? I'm like, yeah, no problem. I know for a fact I'm not fit. But like, I've got that. I don't know if someone says, I dare you to do that. You do it, don't you? I'm one of them where it's like, I bet you wouldn't do that. I bet you, I mean, that was the whole thing with the bank, wasn't it? I bet you wouldn't do that.
Yeah, what did happen in the bank?
That was a few years ago. Derek Halliwell, he's an ex-soldier. Derek, you know, like, there was a lot of thing with, you know, wearing, people call them burgers, and they're not, they're niqabs. People are wearing niqabs in the bank, and I'm saying that they shouldn't do. But I'm saying if they're all allowed, everyone should be allowed to cover their face, because if you go into a bank and you've got a cap on or a motorbike helmet, you've got to remove it. So if you're not allowed to go into a place with a helmet on, why should you be allowed to go in with a niqab? Now, people are going to go, oh, Mick, that's part of the religion. It's not. If it's part of the religion, they all wear it. Hijab is part of the religion. It's not bigotry to say you can't wear it. It's a cultural thing for men to say, I don't want other men looking at me women. Now, I think that's, whatever they want to do, that's fine. If you want to cover your face, that's up to you. But you can't do it in a bank or a public place, because what's the point in having the CCTV? So my thing is, for equality, everyone's screaming on, I want equality. If you're allowed to cover your face, I should be allowed. If I'm not allowed to cover my face, neither should you. And that's equality. Everybody gets treated the same. But it doesn't, there's differences. So I was arguing about this online, and it's my pal Derek. I've actually got a security company with him now. Derek was saying, no, you should just let him do it. And he's an ex-soldier. I says, I bet you £100 if I go in the bank with a mask on, I'll lose my bank account. I says, but them can go in and do whatever they want. So then he was one night having this argument. And then a couple of people went, I bet you wouldn't do it though. And I went, do what? Go in the bank with the mask on? I went, I bet you I do. And then I says, right, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, I'm going in the bank. So anyways, I've rocked up the bank, I'm in my work clothes, put my phone in my top pocket, got a mask on.
What bank was it?
It was Lloyd's, no Shields. Now, when I go in Lloyd's, there was no sign saying that you're not allowed to wear a SAS mask. It says you're not allowed to wear a bike helmet. So anyways, I had a little look into it, and I thought, if I actually try to get money out of the bank, I could be demanding money with menace. So I thought, what's best is to put money in the bank. So then I'm not demanding any money, I'm putting money in. So now he was waiting in the queue, dead politely. A couple of my pals are in front of us. One's called Terry. I went, Terry, do you mind if I got in front of you? I thought I was going to get arrested. Well, let's get in front, and I want to get in and out as quick as possible. So goes to the front of the queue. The manageress has come through. She's not happy. She comes to the front, and by the way, I think a lot of people are calling her for being angry, and I think she should be angry, because nobody should be allowed to cover their face. She should have been angry with us. So anyway, she comes to the front and she went, I don't know if anybody's told you, but you're not allowed to wear ski masks in here. And I went, it's not a ski mask, it's a man burger. And she went, a man burger? Seriously, is that what you're telling us? I went, that's what it is. She went, I'm frightened I get sexually assaulted. And she went, well, I'm frightened if I take that off, someone's going to sexually assault me. She went, really? And then she turned the attention on one of my friends that was videoing. It says, you're not allowed to video in the bank. And I says, well, you're videoing? She went, well, allowed to video, but you're not. I went, all right, then no problem. I'd already put my money in the bank and I left. I went back home, my wife's made me dinner for us. Ate me dinner, I haven't said a word. I went back to work, and then my wife's sister's come down. Have you seen what Michael's done? She just went, no, it's went crazy, it's went viral. So she's shown her that, and my wife's on the phone, gonna kill us. We literally just bought a house. My wife says, we're gonna lose our house. We're gonna lose everything, we're gonna lose the bank accounts a lot. Gets a phone call, my brother-in-law works at Leeds Building Society, it's over the road. Michael, the phone, the police are there. So I thought, I might as well walk down, I'll sit outside. I'd rather get arrested outside the bank than for them to come to the house and arrest us in front of my kids. So there's a public seating outside the bank, and I'm sat there, and one of my pals, Andy Bryson, was walking down with us. So we just sat on the chair, and he went, what are you doing, Mick? I went, Andy's an ex-boxer, so we sat there, and he went, what are you doing? I went, I'm just waiting to get arrested. And he went, what do you mean? I went, I've just been in there with a mask on. He went, I seen it, so I've come to have a look. So anyways, we sat there, and the coppers come out. And it was funny now, because they're in the bank, and because I've put money in, the note's me, it's got my name on the bank account. So we're in the bank, and we're watching, and the police are looking out the window, and the bank manager's going, that's him. That's him. So she's actually pointing us out in the street. So I'm sat there, and I'm looking, I'm thinking, shouldn't have really done that, I think I'm going to get arrested here. So I sat there, the coppers come out, and Andy's went to the copper. He went, so what's the crackling? Are you going to arrest him? He went, no, son, you've done no wrong. He went, you put money in, you've done no wrong. He says, that's it. And off they went. I was like, sweet, I've gotten away with that. So anyways, gets a letter from the bank. They've closed my bank account, all my accounts, mortgages, the lot. I've got to transfer all my details over to another bank. Luckily, I was in Barclays, it's down the road. Gets all my details transferred over. And that was it, lost a lot. It's crazy. I ended up getting £1,000 compensation. By accident.
How did that accident happen?
I had £1,000 overdraft, which I wasn't in. So anyways, I've transferred all my money to Barclays, got all my bank accounts changed over to there. And I says to my wife, I went, no, stuff, I want to spend that £1,000 overdraft. And when they shut my account in 30 days, I'm going to say, I'll pay you back £2 a week. My wife went, they'll not do that. I says, well, they're going to have to. I says, because they've discriminated against her. So anyways, 30 days is up, bank account's going to shut. I phoned them up, I went, I've got to close my bank account, I'm £1,000 overdrawn. I think it was like 998 quid. And just went, you're going to have to pay that back. I says, no. I says, you've shut me down. I says, I haven't tried to leave. I says, you've shut my account down. She went, no, if you shut the account, you've got to pay that off. I went, no. I says, you discriminated me there. I says, I've been chucked out the bank for covering my face. And I'd actually done another video where I phoned Lloyd's Bank and I says, I've got a facial deformity, can I wear a mask in the bank? And he says, yes, I've still got that recording on my phone. So when I phoned the call centre, so this was after I'd done it, but I've actually got the evidence where you were allowed to go in with a face covering. So anyways, I went, you've discriminated against us. She went, can I put you on hold? I'll get back to you, I want to look into the case. I went, no problem. I was on hold 20 minutes. So anyways, the last gets back on the phone. She went, we've reviewed the case. We're just going to leave it at that. We'll shut the bank. You've got to just keep the money. What do you mean? She went, no, that's it. Case closed. I went, how much do I owe you? She went, nothing. So I ended up walking away with 998 quid.
Do you know what? That would have caused absolute uproar if you had got arrested for that. So for the sake of equality, you're pro banning the burqa, should we say?
Face coverings, not just a burqa, just any face covering.
Yeah. This has been my argument for years as well. And when I was younger, I pulled a very similar stunt in a jeweller's because I had a very similar argument with a friend saying it's got nothing to do with religion. My background's security, same as yours. And that's always been my point. So when we're working the door, take your baseball cap off. Why? Because the cameras are up high and they come down low. If you go and glass somebody in the face, you can't be identified. There's a reason why you need your full face on display in society. It keeps us all safe, or at least it gives us a fighting chance to prevent crimes or spot them before they even happen. Or
identify them.
When they do, you identify them immediately before they go on and do something else again. And if everyone's allowed face coverings, then people can wear any kind of disguise. You can have a man under a burqa.
100%.
Yeah, I've always had the same concerns. And again, it's got nothing to do with race whatsoever. It's a case of, I always think security. If I go to a restaurant, I make sure I'm sat with my back in the corner so I can see everywhere. And that's not because I'm scared, it's because I'm security conscious.
Yep.
The same as that. So, yeah, I back you 100% on you doing that. I don't think there should be face coverings allowed in the UK.
And you'd like to say, if you're going in with your bike helmet on with your visor down, get that off as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You shouldn't be allowed to cover your face. Why spend millions and millions of quid around the country putting in CCTV, maybe billions of pounds, and then going, oh, it's all right, my culture says I can wear that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Did you get any backlash for that?
Oh, straight away. Wait, it's funny now, because like, put it out on thing, everyone's going, you're racist. I went, if anything, I'll be bigoted. It's not racism. What's the race? So anyways, you would argue, and then actually I enjoy arguing. That's my hobby. I would say of all my hobbies, arguing with people online is my favourite. Honestly, my wife knows when I'm doing it as well, because my wife's talking us, and I'm like that ferociously typing away, and she went, who are you arguing with? I went, I've got another one.
This time, everyone.
I've hooked them in, yeah. So, and anyways, I'm arguing with people, and people are going, oh, you're racist. I went, no, it's bigoted. Well, are you bigoted then? You're just discriminating people. I went, I'm not, that's the thing, I'm not discriminating anyone. I'm saying, I'm trying to do it like across the board. Nobody should be allowed. And then eventually they're like, all right, you're not a racist, you're not this. Because that's the first thing, honestly, man, it's like, people just brand you something now. Oh, racist, this, that, like, It's stupid.
I don't know many people that have worked in security or for the armed forces or the police that would agree that face coverings are allowed. Are they all racist and bigoted? No.
It's stupid.
We want to live in a safer society. We want everybody to be safe.
100%.
So, final question. You're now very much in the limelight. You can't be the BKFC Heavyweight Champion of the world and not be known by hundreds of thousands of people. So, have you noticed a distinct difference before the BKFC to now in the way that you're approached, and what's the volume of people that now approach you? Are you approached for selfies and conversations?
Before the BKFC, obviously, my local town, a lot of people knew it was in my local town, but like, it seems it doesn't matter where you go now, we want more beer the other week, and you stand having a piss. Someone's asking for a selfie when you're having a piss, and you're busy holding your tid line, and you're like, mate, can you let us shake this off first? And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry, mate, sorry, I want just wait over there while I finish this, but the bit I struggle with is, I don't know if you're the same as me, I've just been talking about security. Have someone staring at you, I always think they're going to set about us.
Mm.
So if I'm in like Newcastle with my wife and we're shopping or something, and someone's staring at us, I think there's going to be a problem here. That's my first reaction. So like, it's not that I'm going to set about them, but I'm cautious of the situation. So like, I'll be looking, and half the time they just, are you Mick? Do you mind if I get a photo? Like, no problem. You know what I mean? It's like they're paying your wage, really. You've got to have the fans, because then you don't get paid. So
you're nice, warm, and approachable.
100%. It's you need these people. Like, I need the people, and people like watching the fight. So
yeah,
we're good for each other.
And do you enjoy the fame?
Not really.
No.
I just think, if you pop your head up enough and get shot off, I'd rather just have my head, just keep under the radar.
Well, too bad. You're out there. Mick, is there anything you want to end this interview on?
No, I'm all good, mate.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Fans, tune in for the January 25th. I promise you, fireworks with Ben Rothwell. It'll be a bloodbath.
Well, I, for one, will be cheering for you on the 25th. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
And good health.
Cheers. Thank you.